Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Anna Kessler with a new video tutorial, and today I want to start a really simple junk journal for beginners. If you haven't tried making a junk journal, I want to show you how it's done step by step. So I'm going to use my new Daisy background papers. So I've printed them so you can see how they look. And I printed them on an A4, and I wanted you to see that even though they're 8.5 by 11 inches, you can print them on an A4 page, and this is how it comes out. I didn't cut it yet, and so you can print them on both page sizes. All the papers are two-sided, so you have to print both sides, and they all have a matching backing or other side paper that matches the color. So these papers are really pretty. You see that each one has a matching side to both of them, and all the papers are with a daisy theme, and I really love this paper. I'm loving them. These are amazing, and I'm going to create a really simple journal for you to see step by step from the beginning, including the cover and everything. So we're going to do this in steps, and we're going to start with preparing our papers for the creation of the journal. So first I want to cut the excess from that A4 page that I printed it on. Of course, if you will print it on an 8.5 by 11, it will look slightly different with the white edges around everything. So what I'm going to do is fold all the papers in half, and then what I did with all the papers, I have distressed them on the edges and ink them with distress ink. So I'm going to show you how to do that. You have this little tool that you can distress the pages. It has a knife in between those ridges, so you simply rub it on the paper to distress the edges. If you don't have this tool, I'm going to link this tool in the description under the video, but if you don't have it, you can do the same thing with your scissors. With your scissors blade, just go over the edge of the paper and it will have the same effect. So I'm going to do what I did excuse me, I did that to all the pages, all the edges, and then I went with my distress ink and inked all the edges, including in the center and in both directions. Because all the pages are double-sided, we want all the sides to have that ink effect. Of course, this is optional. If you don't like the look of the distress ink, then you don't have to do it, but I like it. I think it adds a lot of character, definition to the page, and a really vintagey look that I like. Of course, you can use other colors of distress ink. I'm using Vintage Photo, but you can use other colors, darker or lighter, whatever you want. So this is what I did to all the pages. Altogether, there are 9 pages. So I'm going to have 3 signatures of 3 pages each. A signature is basically a pile of folded papers that you later create or sew into a journal or a book. So what I did, I mixed, each signature has 1 page of each color. So I mixed them like this. So these are the signature, and now we are going to start embellishing. Now, one important thing you all need to know. It is best to embellish and add everything to the pages before you sew them in, because then you can match the width of the cover to the width of the journal. So here I have all the things that we already did with the daisies. If you remember, we have an ephemera set that we did all the other little projects with. This is the hidden paper clips. We had the concertina mini album. We had the paper envelope with the letter inside. We had this page. They're all part of the Paper Perks series with the daisies that we did. You can go back and look for them in the Paper Perk Facebook group. And this is the ephemera kit, the daisy ephemera kit that you can get in my Ko-fi shop. Again, supporters in Ko-fi will or have gotten this ephemera kit for free, and now members of this channel will also be able to get this ephemera kit for free. So if you want this ephemera kit, you can join the channel and become a member. I also grabbed some ribbons, as you saw before, and I dyed some of my cheesecloth with some sprays. It's really easy. You simply spray the cheesecloth, and then if you don't like the color, if it's too bright, you can water it with some water and remove some of the sprays, and then let it dry, and then you get dyed cheesecloth. So what I want to do first is create the first page, and for that I want to cover one of the tags that I got from the ephemera kit, the daisy ephemera kit. Like I said, members will get that for free. So go ahead and join this channel and become a member. I'm just using a very plain school glue to cover the back of the tag with some old book paper. You can leave it as it is, or you can cover it with some coffee or tea dyed paper or other pattern paper that you want, or print this tag again and attach two tags back to back. So this is my tag. This is going to go in the front page. So I cut one of the pockets from the ephemera kit, and I'm going to score along the lines of the pocket, and this is going to be on the first page. I don't know yet if it's going to be the first page of the journal, but this is the first page of this signature. We're going to start working on the pages. So just fold the tabs. We're going to glue those to create our pocket like this, and then we are going to just want to cut a little bit the corner of the tab so it won't interfere when I fold it. And then you simply apply glue to the little tabs. Oops, too much glue there. Accidents happen. Let's just clean this. Okay. I'll also link to this bottle. I really like using it. It has a very, very small tip, so you can apply very little glue, and this saves you a lot of glue in the long run. I'm going to add the pocket. And then of course you can decide how you want to embellish each of the pages. Like I said, I got some laces and trims and ribbons and twines to add as well, and the dyed cheesecloth that all match with the daisies. Just going to add this a little lace on top of my pocket. And this is going to be, and this goes in there, this is going to be a really simple journal, because I want you to see how you can create all the pages and add embellishments to the journal using the kit or whatever it is you want to use. So I'll have different ideas for the pages, interactive ideas and other design element ideas for you to use, and you can do that in every journal that you make. So we also have borders in our ephemera kit. Let's make a belly band for the envelope that we did. I don't remember which paper perk it was, but again I will link that under the video with all the freebies that you got in the paper perks that you can also add to the journal with the daisies. So I've cut 2 pieces of cheesecloth and I'm ruffling them up a little bit. I want to create sort of a background for that cutout paper that I cut. So we're going to have this belly band like this with the word daisy. And when you ink the edges of each of the elements that you add, they have a really definite border, so it helps them pop out and be visible. So that's why I like to do this. So when you add elements to or embellishments to the belly band, only attach it to the belly band itself, because we want to be able to insert or tuck things under it later. So don't attach it to the page. So I'm layering everything one on top of the other. Looks really pretty. Let's add the word daisy too. I use tacky glue. Again, I can link that as well. I use tacky glue. It attaches everything, paper, fabric. I really like this glue. And then we attach the belly band by applying glue only to the edges, so everything underneath will be completely free to insert things. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? If you have leftover glue, just wipe it off. And then once it's dry, well, if you're not patient like me, you'll have to wait a few seconds until it's dry. And then insert your envelope. That looks really cool. I really like how that turned out. So we already did 2 pages. Like I said, it's a really simple journal, but I'm loving it. It's really pretty. So this is the first page that we did. This is the second page. Let's do this left page next. I want to leave this page for journaling, so I'm just going to add something on the top. One of the phrases from the ephemera kit, and I'm just going to leave this page for journaling or a photo or whatever it is you want to add to your journal. Let's just attach it to the top. Great. I love this daisy frame around the page. Isn't that cool? Okay, and for the page next to it, I'm just going to make a little booklet with a pocket. So I'm taking a paper. This is a coffee and tea dyed paper, and I'm just going to cut it to pieces. Doesn't really matter the size of the pieces. You can make the booklet as big or as small as you like, and not just eyeballing it, so the pages are not going to be exactly the same, which is also fine with me. If you do, you can measure the size, but you see mine are not exactly the same size, and it's fine. Going to staple them. Forgot my staple. Let's bring it from the drawer where it hides. So I'm going to staple them, and then we're going to hide the staples. Although you can leave them if you want, but for this purpose I'm going to hide them. And then I'm going to bring this little booklet like this that you can journal, add photos to. Just going to bring a ribbon and then attach it on the front and on the back of the booklet, so it will be embellished and it will hide the staples. So I'm wondering, should I do it like this? No, that is too thin. The lace, just going to wrap it around like this. This is best, and it will still be able to open and close, so it won't interfere with that. Okay, so let's wrap this around. And this is a great way, making a journal like this is a great way to use leftovers. So these are pieces of ribbon that I have left. So it is a junk journal when you use your junk or leftovers. So you can use whatever you have in your stash. And that will be a great way to make a project without spending a lot more money. I want to add a little bit of lace on the top. Just in the front. I'm not going to go around to the other side with this lace. And by the way, these scissors that are by Tim Holtz, and they cut everything, fabric, paper. I really love those. So let's finish this page. I'm going to have a semi-transparent pocket. I want to add a few more embellishments here. Just a little piece of cheesecloth and a cutout daisy on the top. So the pocket is going to be made out of parchment. You can use tracing paper instead if you want, or any other paper. Doesn't have to be semi-transparent or transparent. So this is the booklet. It's going to go here, and then I'm just going to eyeball where I need to cut my parchment. Usually I cut it first, and then obviously it's not straight, so I then take it to my trimmer. Make sure that all the lines are straight, because now it's not. So I'm just going to make everything completely straight, because it bothers me when things are crooked. But it's easier to use a small piece of parchment than the entire page. Okay, so now I like it. And if you're worried about gluing this, don't, because the glue dries clear. If you have a sewing machine, you can sew the pocket into the page. And I'm going to add the same ribbon on top of the pocket as I did for the booklet, so they'll look really pretty together. And all these ideas can be also made implemented on other projects that you make, other journals, scrapbook pages, mini albums, anything. So let's finish this page. So I have a little twine here that I just want to tie into a little bow and add to the pocket. Just a little detail. All those details make your journal pages look really pretty. So you really want to think about adding details to everything. Sometimes I finish a journal and then I go back and look over on all the pages and add more details. But the basic, we're going to finish the basics here and do everything. Just adding a piece of cheesecloth and then the ribbon. When you layer elements, it always looks richer, more interesting, with more texture, more colors. So I like to layer my embellishments. I'm inking the edges of the parchment, and then, like I said, the glue dries clear, so you don't have to worry about that. And if you have a sewing machine, you can sew it to the page. So I'm adding glue on the sides and the bottom because it is a pocket. And then we have finished our page. Isn't that cool? Let's insert our booklet. Okay, so these are the pages that we did. And of course, this is going to be a series, so stay tuned. You see how thick it got? That's why you need to wait with the wait until the end before you do the cover. So stay tuned for the next video about making this daisy journal. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and become a member to get the ephemera kit for free.